I sat with a guy's got $1 trillion in capital under management, and he couldn't buy the Bitcoin even if he wanted to. He couldn't, because he doesn't have the accounting systems, the on-ramps, the regulatory wrapper. So there are people out there that have more money than you that may actually perceive the same thing you perceive. They can't buy it yet. You should count yourself lucky if you actually have the ability to acquire it right now, right? Because you jumped through the hoops, you got KYC'd on a crypto exchange, because you've got a relationship, right? You have an advantage. The advantage is for a window of time. It will actually never be this good again. In my
Crypto family, welcome back to the channel. Aaron here, coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video today. As you just saw, that's Michael Saylor saying, basically, we are still early. You should be accumulating as much Bitcoin as possible right now. There are people with a lot more money than the retail investors, than you, than me, who want to get into Bitcoin, but they can't because of the regulation. But we do know that regulation is coming in the Bitcoin space. We have the potential spot Bitcoin ETF coming later this year, early in 2024. We have the Bitcoin FASB accounting standards changing very soon for Bitcoin. That will make it easier for corporations to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And we basically have government regulators in the United States saying that BTC is a commodity. So in today's clip, we're going to be checking out what Michael Saylor thinks has to happen for Bitcoin to really start to make the next move to the upside. He talks about that, and then he also talks about what prices Bitcoin could potentially go to in the future. New to our channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have new Bitcoin, crypto, financial related content coming out every single day. Hit that like button. It helps out spread the message of Bitcoin and crypto. Let's go ahead and check out the clip.
I think that there are really three milestones we need for massive adoption of Bitcoin by governments, by thousands of companies, by all of the investors in the world. The first and the most important one, the one that's going to dominate this cycle, is going to be the spot ETF. Because futures ETFs are just literally defective, right? If I said I'm going to charge you a 10% fee per year to invest your money, like your money's gone in 7 years, right? That's going to be the number one driver, right? And that's going to dwarf everything else in the near term. The second driver is FASB fair value accounting. Because if I'm a corporation and I have $1 billion of cash flow this year, I normally would have to either put it into dollars or euros, and I know I'm losing 7% of its value every year in a normal monetary inflation environment, or I'd have to buy sovereign debt like euro bonds or treasury bonds, and then I'm just losing 2, 3, 4% of its value every year. And I can do one of those two things, but I can't invest it in any other property that's going to go up in value. This FASB decision means that Bitcoin can now be a treasury reserve asset for mega corporations. I think that the third catalyst, before we get to central banks, is just banks in general. Embrace of companies like Deutsche Bank and Santander and JP Morgan and Bank of America and the like. That's third on the list. And I think as we start to see those banks step up and become custodians, first they'll be custodians, then they will actually begin offering financing and collateral, and you accept Bitcoin as collateral. And then you'll start to see a whole set of Bitcoin derivatives and new products. Instead of just pure Bitcoin, you might see Bitcoin integrated with fixed income offerings, Bitcoin with volatility hedging. You might see Bitcoin-backed insurance plans, Bitcoin-backed bonds, all sorts of other Bitcoin-backed securities that'll be banked. And that will eventually ripple. If you wanted to buy $10 million of Apple stock, you could pick up the phone and say, give me $10 million of Apple, put the phone down. And if you don't have the cash in your account, your banker will forward you the cash at SOFR plus 50 basis points. So you would pay 5% interest, and they would just go ahead and buy the $10 million of Apple stock. And then if you're short the cash, you're going to owe 5% interest on it over the course of the next year. But it's basically completely financed. Now, if you wanted to buy $10 million of an ETF like Bitcoin, and it's a spot ETF, you could do the same thing. You could say, buy me $10 million of Bitcoin ETF. They would front you the money, and you've got it in your account by the end of the day. Now, if you want to buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin, the asset, and you're that hedge fund, here's what happens today without the spot ETF. You have to go to your boss and say, I want to set up a new brokerage relationship with Coinbase. Then you have to get approval. Then you have to go to Coinbase. Then you have to get KYC. You have to wait 12 weeks. After the 12 weeks, if you've got it set up, then you've got to go to your board and you've got to change your trading mandate and get the permission to buy this. Then you've got to assign 3 people in finance to do the. Then you're got to establish a trading plan. And after you've done that, that takes like a year of bureaucratic moves. By the way, and they're going to say, no, wait a minute, we're going to establish, you have to modify the compensation system, the compliance system, the custody system. Okay. And they're going to say, why would you want to do this for 1% of your portfolio? And so let's say you did do it. If you took the year and if they agreed to rebuild all of their systems and rewire them so you could buy this Bitcoin, then you have to go back to your boss and say, oh, I need 10 million in cash. Because Coinbase can't advance you the money. So then after you go and you buy the Bitcoin, the 10 million in Bitcoin, then on the rest of your portfolio, the conventional Wall Street ETFs and stocks, you can borrow against them up to 50%. You can even, like against Apple stock, you could borrow 80% loan to value for nothing. But there's nobody that's going to give you a loan against the Bitcoin. So it's not collateral in the Wall Street system. It's the second system. So what I'm saying here is Bitcoin, the underlying asset, is impossible to finance, takes a year to buy, it requires an extreme amount of systems reconstruction, and it causes everyone that you work for to be worried. Like they're all going to worry, well, what if you buy the Bitcoin and you wire it out to your own wallet, and what if you lose it? And so there's a lot of headaches. It's just not going to happen. And if it does happen, you can't borrow against it. But the spot Bitcoin ETF means I can have the same thing in one day for free. And then if it doubles or triples in value, I've got $30 million of Bitcoin. I can go borrow $15 million against the Bitcoin. I've already got the loan agreement. I've already got the best credit terms. I've got 50 basis point credit spread. So you see, one of these things is plugged into Wall Street. And the other thing is for the pioneers, right? The early adopters that want to take the arrows in their back. And, the benefit you get by being an early adopter is you get in before it 10Xs. Like what'll happen is at some point, Bitcoin will be 250,000 and it'll be really easy to buy and it'll be not scary and it'll be easy to borrow against for it. And if you went to the trouble to get the crypto exchange account and to work through all those other things, you got to buy it for 10,000 or 5,000 or 15 or 20 or 30,000. Those will all look good.
And thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of that video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this one. Do you think that we are still early for Bitcoin? According to Michael Saylor, we are still very early, but leave your thoughts in the comment section. My name is Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.